Universiti ini aku berdiri, melangkah mula dan terus berlari, mengejar visi, menggenggam misi. Puncak megah ingin ku tawani, dengan ilmu aku berbakti, julang tradisi, unggulkan varsity. Ayu semadi hati, katakan ini, we love you PM, we love you PM. Kau sentiasa di hati, kaulah inspirasi. Ayo berlari, menggapai visi, berilmu berbakti. Oh yeah, we love you PM, we love you PM. Kau sentiasa di hati, kaulah inspirasi. Ayo berlari, menggapai visi, berilmu berbakti. Di varsity ini aku berdiri, melangkah mula dan terus berlari, mengejar visi, menggenggam misi. Puncak megah ingin ku tawani, dengan ilmu aku berbakti, julang tradisi, unggulkan varsity. Ayu semadi hati, katakan ini, we love you PM, we love you PM. Kau sentiasa di hati, kaulah inspirasi. Ayo berlari, menggapai misi, berilmu berbakti. Oh yeah, we love you PM, we love you PM. Kau sentiasa di hati, kaulah inspirasi. Ayo berlari, menggapai misi, berilmu berbakti. Ayu semadi hati, katakan ini, we love you PM, we love you PM. Kau sentiasa di hati, kaulah inspirasi. Ayo berlari, menggapai misi, berilmu berbakti. Oh yeah, we love you PM, we love you PM. Kau sentiasa di hati, kaulah inspirasi. Ayo berlari, menggapai misi, berilmu berbakti. Putra Malaysia, gedung ilmu menara putih. Sinilah berhimpun warga siswa, menjunjung amanah, berilmu berbakti. Untuk setia mengisi harapan, insan bertakwa berunjang pribadi. Berbaru tenaga mencapai kejayaan, sehati sejiwa berhebat tinggi. siswa cemerlang. Semarak namamu di sinar zaman, semerbak namamu di suara sanjungan. Penyumbang bakti ke anak bangsa, pewaris sejati negara tercinta. Ramai desa di pelbagai kota, tersemat citramu semerbak negara. Di darjat bangsa, di daulat negara, tersurat jasamu rencana kemajuan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Welcome to the keynote speech session of the International Putra Innovative Carnival in Teaching and Learning PicTL 2021 that will be delivered by Yang Berbahagia, Professor Technologies, Dr. Rusli Abdullah. Before I invite Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Rusli, let me first introduce our keynote speaker for today. Professor Dr. Rusli Abdullah is currently a professor in the Department of Software Engineering and Information System, Faculty of Computer Science and Information Technology, Universiti Putra, Malaysia, UPM. Specializing in knowledge management, he has completed his PhD in Computer Science at Universiti Teknologi Malaysia, UTM Johor, in 2006. He then started his career as a lecturer since 2006, after serving as a system analyst for 8 years at UPM. He has published over 14 books and over 80 journal papers, conference publications, and other academic research publications. He has also received numerous awards and recognitions throughout his career that includes Silver Medal for University Research Invention in 2008 and 2009, Gold Medal for University Research Invention 2005, Silver Medal for Invention of Technology and Exposition ITEX 2009, Silver Medal for Malaysian Research Invention and Exposition MTE 2010, 2012, and 2014, and Certification of University Excellence Services of Lecturer Service for many years since 1999. He was also appointed as the head of laboratory for Institute of Software Development, UPM, in 2007, Deputy of Chief Information Officer for IDEC UPM in early of 2008, and Head of Information System Department, Faculty of Computer Science and Information Technology, FSKTM, at the end of the year 2008. He was also a Deputy Dean of FSKTM UPM from 2009 to 2014. In the years of 2018 to 2019, he was appointed as the Deputy Dean of School of Graduate Studies, SGS UPM. Afterward, the most recent one, he had been appointed as the Dean of FSKTM UPM in the year of 2019 to 2021. His experience in the field has made him to be selected as a keynote speaker for several conferences, includes Knowledge Management International Conference 2018, International Conference on Artificial Intelligence and Evolutionary Algorithms in Engineering Systems, ICA-EES 2014, and many others. He was also a part of the Technical Advisory Group of UPM Student Information System from 2009 to 2012, and currently a committee member of Malaysia Software Engineering Interest Group, MySIG, which he had been appointed since 2007. Throughout his service, he has received over 11 research grants as a principal investigator and also been involved as a chairman as well as a committee member for numerous conferences at national and international levels. Listening to these impressive achievements, I'm sure we are all excited to listen to his keynote lecture. Now, without further ado, please welcome Yang Berbahagia, Professor Dr. Rusli Abdullah, to deliver his keynote speech entitled Innovation for Future Education.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nadia, for the lengthy introduction for my biography. So, Alhamdulillah, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Again, good morning, everyone. So today I want to thanks for CADe to giving me a chance to share the knowledge about the innovation for future education. So I think I want to share my slide. All right. So once we talk about innovation for future education, basically there are a lot of things that we need to be considered. For example, something related, if we're talking about innovation in education, it is a very important right now. This is also to ensure that the process of innovation can be used to support the education process to enhance the quality and productivity of the community of practice, especially for the students, for the lecturers, for the administrators, especially in related to the teaching and learning environment. So in this context, the process of innovation can be done by using the latest technology in related to the application technology which are involve Web 3.0 as well as IR 5.0. So therefore, by today, I hope that I can share this kind of knowledge, how to innovate the education system for the future purposes by using those technology. Right. As a part of my presentation today, right, I want to highlight in terms of what is the innovation in education, innovation in related to 3.0, innovation in relation to the IR 5.0, and the current in education implementation towards future education, and how to innovate the IR 4.0, the how to innovate and IR 5.0 can be translated into the future education system, and also the way forward of future education in terms of management and its application. And also I will discuss about issues and challenges, conclusion, and might be at the end we have Q&A. Right. For the purpose of innovation, actually, if we're talking about innovation in education, it is very important right now. For example, in once we talk about innovation, it will reflect to the kind of teaching and learning actually for the purpose of the student, for the purpose of lecturers or teachers, and also for the purpose of education academic administrators. This is considered as community of practice in education. For sure, what we want to do actually is to increase the quality and the productivity. Okay, next, the use of technology as innovation purposes basically can be categorized as number one as teachers as a teaching system. This is will reflect to the teachers or teaching community, and also the second one is the learning system. This is will reflect to the lecturers or the teachers by itself, and also the last one, the academic administration system. This is will reflect to the administrators. Right. So once we talk about innovation in education, what does it mean? So meaning that innovation in education means doing what's the best for all the students. Number one, for the student, of course, is the main target in education system, and also the teachers or the lecturers, and the lesson, meaning that the content and also the curriculum that to have been more flexible. So we should get our students to think and ask, right? So this is, we need to pick their curiosity and find ways how to keep them interested in our teaching and learning. So that's for innovation means to change so that we can learn that our students need more than skills need to be passed. The statement given by every spring. So we have given them tools which make them productive in their future careers. This is what definition given by Cambly. Right. So once we talk about the innovation, so innovation basically are related to the descriptive technology, meaning that it is as innovation that create the new market and also create the new network, right? So once we see the graph, for example, we can see from time to time and the performance will increase. So the disruptor basically is very important, you know, we create the value of the customer in terms of customer demand, and also at the same time we sustain in terms of the performance over the time. So that's why innovation is very important, especially once we talk about innovation right now. So we cannot to be avoid the technology, the current technology that we have, 3.0, Web 3.0, and also IR 4.0. So that the education system will be more impactful and more sustaining and significantly to serve for their community of practice environment. Right. So the next one, once we talk about innovation in relation to 3.0, it is can be can be start in terms of 2.0, because in the web era we have web 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. So the beauty of the web 2.0 characteristic basically are number one, readable and writable web, customer and the creator, and then also the distributor and interactive, and also we can make in terms of participation over the web, and also we can do sort of collaboration over the web, and of course the last one is we can share, right? So the next beauty of the web 2.0 also, it is service based, meaning that there is no install, meaning that's used online, something like related to the plug and play. So that's why web 2.0 also can be considered as two-way communication, meaning that more interactive and two-way integration. So among the Web 2.0, I'm sure that most of us are familiar with this. For example, we have Skype, we have blogs, we have YouTube, we have Facebook, we have Wikis, and many others. You can see more others that have been shown in the picture right now. Okay, beside the 3.0 or 2.0, of course, the latest one we have 3.0. This is work based on few or based on the new characteristic that has been defined for 3.0. Of course, the first one related to the semantic web, and the second one in terms of artificial intelligence, the third one in terms of 3D graphic, and also the last one is more important, is based on ubiquitous computing. So therefore, we can make use this kind of 3.0 in terms of this kind of technology for the purpose of blended learning, for example, for the mock and also for the macro, and now we macro credential, and now we go to the nano credential, right? So we can see there are a lot of things we can make use of the current web 3.0 based on the what has been produced by this kind of characteristic. Okay, and then the next one we can see also this is also very important. This is also we can see based on the IR 5.0. So once we talk the IR 5.0, there are 9 pillars of technology investment that can be considered. But for us today, we want to discuss more in detail is about 6 main things that are very important, that are very close to the education system of the future. Number 1, of course, we cannot avoid the use of cloud computing. Number 2, we make use the AR, VR, and MR, and now we call it as XR, the extended of reality. And the next one, in terms of the 3 pillars that has been used in education of the future, basically is in terms of gaming and robotic system. And also the 4th one, we have artificial intelligence. And the next one, we have IoT. This is also very important things that need to be considered once we talk about education of the future. And the last one, of course, very important thing, we are talking about system connection, meaning that we have to make the system that we have scattered around the world, like LMS, for example, like student information system, like student account system, should be integrated. So that's one, system integration can be integrated via smart devices, right? Right. Now, so we have been understand about the current technologies related to the innovation based on the Web 3.0 and also IR 5.0. So based on that, let me see in detail what do we mean by IR 4.0 for the purpose of number 1. Number 1, actually, we're talking about cloud computing. So once we talk cloud computing, we cannot to be avoid that software as a service, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service. And right now, we have everything as a service. So therefore, by using the cloud computing, since we have been connected by the cloud, so we can divide the cloud into 2 kind of cloud that has been can be used. The most important thing in terms of private clouds, and the second one. So once we have both of it, it can be hybrid cloud and also can be multi-cloud. So the purpose of this cloud, actually, you can see from the diagram, they can make connected all the servers, all the desktop, all the tablets, and all the phone or smartphone right now, and also all the laptops together. So based on this connection, so we can have the services from others, like application, like platform, like infrastructure. So of course, the application normally are related to the software. So that's why we call it a software as a service, platform as a service, and the last one, infrastructure as a service. Right, so that is number 1 in IR 4.0. Let me go for the second one. This is another kind of the beauty of IR 4.0 in order to translate this technology for the future education. Of course, we have augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality, MR, and extended reality. Once we talk about extended reality, it is a combination of AR, VR, and MR. So those can be used by the users in order to enrich their information, in order to know something about something, right? To know something about something. Okay. So that is number 2. Number 3, we have IR 4.0 will based on the artificial intelligence, meaning that we are developing the context of gamification. We're developing the robot. So these are the kind of, so how do we make use the robot for us to help us, especially for the pandemic era right now. So the robot actually, as you know, that they have no sense. So that's why they can work 24 hours divided by 7, you know. So they can serve us. So when sometimes they can make use as a doctor. Sometimes they can make use as a nurse. So that's why in the game, for example, we can use a robot to make sure that the robot can work on behalf of the people. So the good example is during the Olympic and Paralympic Games, Tokyo 2020, where the robot are highly used in order to help people how to communicate, because in the gaming system that we have physically, we have to you know, to make sure or to follow the SOP, especially based on the social distancing, right? That's why robot actually can help us for this kind of environment. Okay, the next one. Once we talk about IR 4.0, it is based on Internet of Things. This is another kind of how to formulate the education for the future. So once we talk about IoT, basically it is referring to the system interrelated, internet connected objects that are enabled to collect. To collect is number 1. To transfer data is number 2. Over the wireless network without human intervention. This is the kind of technology, the current technology. We work without wired, right? So previously there are a lot of wired or cable that need to be used, but now by using the technology, everything was reconnected. Of course, disconnected just using internet protocol. So that's why the protocol in the Internet of Things is very important, because all the devices are connected through the internet protocol address, which are located for in the each of the devices via IP static or might be dynamic, right? So you can see that in the diagram, how do we make connected, interrelated between computers, between devices like you know, in home, in office, yeah, many others. Might be the good thing actually in health, for example, yeah, right. So the next one is we want to talk about IR 4.0. We are also talking about system integration. This is very important, because by using the network that we have right now, everything can be connected. So once we connected, so the kind of connection basically can be through cloud. So that's why cloud actually is play a major role. In this case, of course, the cloud is not just private cloud. We might be have using hybrid cloud, meaning that we are combined between cloud-based for the public and also the cloud-based for private. So that's why in this case, we can make use connected in terms of social media. We will be connected based on database. We can make use of connected in terms of enterprise application and also mobile, right? Mobile devices. So that's why in this case, all the integration can be done and can be used easily by using the integrated platform, as you can see in the diagram right now. Of course, there are major drivers or major players you can make use. For example, in this case, you can see how the Oracle play their role in order to connect all the database, all the cloud, all the social media, and how the devices like mobile and how the custom application can be connected together. Right. Last one. In the context of education implementation towards education, we can see now we are actually in UPM, for example, we are using Putra Learning Hub, you know, Learning Hub. We call it as a Putra Learning Hub. So we have hub for the digital learning. For in this case, we are being connected to the LMS, Putra LMS. So beside that, we can also we are also linked to the education on the web 2.0 and 3.0, like MOOC and so on. So that is the first kind of hub that we are used for learning purposes. Second one, we can develop another hub for the purpose of teaching environment. So we can call as hub digital learning. So this kind of hub actually for the purpose of the teachers or lecturers. So that's why in this case we have teaching management system or lecturing management system. And also we have education management system can be connected to this because they will help the lecturers to manage their teaching, learning, teaching and education material and so on. So that's why we can have hub digital teaching. And the last one, another hub that we have been implemented towards the future education basically is digital hub of visualization in education. We have e-library, we have e-classroom, we have e-laboratory, and we have e-administration. So those are three actually can be accessed at anywhere, at any time, at any platform, and any. So these are the hub that has been developed to ensure that all the community of practice can be get easily to be accessed, and of course at the end they can increase their quality and productivity of their job for the purpose of teaching and learning. Right. Now, how to translate, right? How to innovate the IR 5.0, right? So based on based on the IR 4.0 to translate into for the future education. So the translation can be done through cloud computing, as I mentioned to you just now, through SR, through artificial and robotics, through Internet of Things, and of course the last one through the system integration via the smart devices. So let me go one by one. So in cloud computing, so we can develop the edu-cloud environment, meaning that we have PaaS, we have IaaS, we have SaaS. So we have PaaS for the in the context of operating system, for the IaaS for the data center, for SaaS actually for AR and VR based education, and of course the last one, if we combine those kind of SaaS, IaaS and the PaaS, we can have education as a service. We can have IaaS. So once we have IaaS, so meaning to say that our education will be more flexible, our education also can more affordable, and also our learner can be great in terms of learner centric. So that's why cloud computing play a major role basically in terms of IaaS, right? Education as a service. We can see from the cloud how the cloud can have been connected all the devices that we have, and how they can offer to the community of practice basically on how it can be revolutionize the higher education. Okay, right. That is number one. Number two, we can see in terms of AR, VR, and MR, and also of course the last one is XR. So this XR basically is related to the technology immerse that the user through the visual, audio, and haptic cues. So the most popular one actually is there are two types of XR. They are related to the virtual reality and augmented reality. So when we combine virtual and augmented reality, they will become as mixed reality. So that's why in this case, we can enrich the information with AR. Of course, once we come up with the enrichment of the information, we can get a lot of benefit. Of course, in terms of the benefit that we can get, number one, we can activate the static data to uncover new insights, and we can deliver contextual relevance, and we can reduce the errors and associated risks, meaning that through the guided of workflow. And also we can enhance the decision making, and we can predict time completion and improve productivity. So these are the things that we can get from AR, VR, MR, and XR. That is number two. Number three, in terms of how to innovate and AR 5.0 to translate into the future education system, we can have artificial intelligence and robotics. For this purpose, we create the gamification system. So you can see from there, we can have the flyers, we can have the green thumb, we can have the superstar, we can have on the go goal, and also smart cookies. So these are the things that we can have kind of gamification for the purpose of teaching and learning. And beside that, also we can create robot. So the robot actually, or robotic system actually can be roughly defined as a system that provide intelligent service and information by interacting with their environment. So this including human being via the use of various sensors, actuators, and human interface. So that's why in this kind of era, robotic and also gamification actually is very important in order to help us as a lecturers, to help us as a student, to help us as an administrator, how to collaborate and how to use it for the purpose of to enhance the future learning purposes or education purposes. Okay, that is number 3. Number 4, we have Internet of Things. So once we talk about the Internet of Things, as I mentioned to you previously, so they can create us in terms of cyber school. It's number 1. Number 2, they can create us as a smart school transposition. We can see the bus there. So the bus actually, we can monitor the bus through the smart sensor. When the bus can come, when the bus will go to go out and so on. So it's something like we use with somewhere here, yeah? Something like we use with. And then number 3, we can make use in terms of smart school of building, right? So we can control the building in terms of electricity, temperature, air conditioning, and so on. So of course, in this kind of environment, CCTV is play their role actually, how to monitor them, yeah? And then the next one in terms of smart student, yeah? Smart student in terms of how do we can have student in terms of their health, for example. And then we can have smart classroom. You see, there are a lot of things has been installed over there. Smart board, for example, smart classroom, we can have smart devices, and also we can have smart STEAM in terms of lab, right? Science of technology. So we can have a lab virtually. We can have lab in terms of remotely. So we can get access at anywhere. And of course, the 7th one you can see from there, the smart cafeteria. This is something related to what we have right now. We have the Grab. Yeah, we can have e-Grab, for example. So in order to go for the restaurant physically, we can have the something or food or meal to us. Yeah, by using the Grab. Yeah. So, and the last one, we have the student IoT project management. This is in terms of how to make sure that they can learn, with the smart devices. Of course, this is a highly used Internet of Things. Okay, this is number 4. Number 5, we can have also in terms of system integration, right? We have system integration. For the purpose of system integration, we can see from there, we have smart education. So once we have smart education, we are being connected to the smart learning environment. We have connected to the smart classroom. We have been connected with the smart teachers. We have connected with the smart learners. And also the very important thing is smart pedagogies. So this integration actually will manage and the education, especially in teaching and learning, for the purpose of community of practice via smart devices. This is what we have just now: smartphone, smart readers, smart board, smart projectors, and smart of everything. So that's why if we're looking for the future education, technology is very important to be familiar with, right? So that's why, for example, smartphone, we have everything, right? For smart reader, we have a smart in terms of how to read of the content. In terms of the smart black box, smart board, for example, how to make use that in terms of the touch screen of board rather than to use pen and so on. And the last one, of course, we have smart projector. How to make sure that the things that we have can be shared by the communities, especially in teaching and learning, right? So based on those innovation that has been done, right? So now let we go to the way forward, right? Let we go to the way forward of the future of education. So let me start by talking about management first. In the context of innovation process for future education system, there are some elements of education management that need to be considered. These processes are related to the automation process and its digitalization that should be worked inclusively and collaboratively. Inclusively is number one, collaboratively is number two, via remote and virtual modes, as well as semantically working of service through intelligent agent. That is very important. Intelligent agents that we work or that we're running autonomously, meaning that without human intervention. So this kind of management, we can divide into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For example, in terms of how to plan, is number one. In terms of planning, number two. In terms of sharing, in terms of monitoring, in terms of notifying, and also the most important IT technology that we have right now in terms of prediction to recommend. So that's why in terms of management, we can see thoroughly in the context of management, in terms of planning, in terms of sharing, in terms of monitoring, in terms of notifying, in terms of recommending. So once we talk about sharing, it of course it is something related to how to manage, right? How to manage. So that's why in the management, planning, sharing, manage, monitor, notify, recommended. Basically, these are very important things that need to be considered. But for the purpose of technology, of course, for the purpose of technology, we can make use, highly use the third one, the third process that I was highlighted here. For example, to recommend, right? We can make use artificial intelligence over here. We can make use agent technology, for example, or software agent to notify also, to monitor. This is we can make use in terms of we can monitor physically and also intangibly by using what you call it, CCTV, and also might be we can make use some of the application that we develop right now in terms of big data to monitor, in terms of BDA, big data analytics, and to share in terms of connection, integration, and to plan in terms of planning. This is something that we can make use of we can make use of the purpose of managing of future education as a part of the way forward. That is number one. The second one, in terms of the way forward, we can talk about application, right? We can talk about application. Since we talk about application, I try to share with you right now, there are 6 kind of application of technologies we can make use. Of course, the most important thing in the education, we have smart or virtual classroom, right? Number 2, we have virtual library, virtual laboratory. And then we have smart education administration. And then we have synchronous and asynchronous application. And then we have virtual library. And the last one, we can have smart devices technology. Okay, let me try to see one by one. Okay, in the context of smart or virtual classroom, for example, as I mentioned to you just now, we can have a smart classroom in terms of smart projector, smart reader, and smart blackboard, right? You can see in the picture how the students are working together without wired, yeah? They are being connected wireless, right? So you can see the teachers actually just guide them, just facilitate them how to make use the technology in terms of for the purpose of teaching and learning. So that's why in the smart classroom, you can see the most important thing actually is more on the student. That's why we call it student-centered rather than teacher-centered, right? Okay, that is number one. Number 2, we have virtual library. So since we're talking about virtual library, right now, the library that we have actually is not just located physically, but we can have virtually. So meaning that the student can get access at anywhere, any place, at any time. The important thing is anytime. Anytime meaning that 24 hours divided by 7. So they can see ebook, they can see e-journal, they can see of everything like video, audio, and so on. So those are keep in the libraries. They can have something like open resource repository, right? So we can have something like IR, yeah, international repository to help the student to get access everything about the libraries. So that's why once we talk about open resource education, in terms of the courseware, we can go for easily by using the virtual library, right? That is for library environment. The third one, we have in terms of virtual laboratory. So once we had the virtual laboratory, meaning that we can have sort of simulation, simulation, and also we can have remote access. For example, in computer science, we have accessing our server remotely, meaning that we are not tend to be use our server physically. We can use at anywhere, at any time, at any platform, and so on. Meaning that we can access our lab through our other platform like Windows, like Unix, like iOS, like Android, and many other kind of platform. And also, this laboratory also can be simulated, and can be run virtually. Okay, right. The next application that we can be developed actually using synchronous and asynchronous application, meaning that is something like what we have today, right? We can have a synchronous communication, meaning that we can have live, and then we can have also asynchronous. We can record, and then we can make use that later on. So meaning that we can use something like YouTube or Facebook, for example, right now. These are the kind of application that we can store, that we can manage everyone for the purpose of teaching and learning. So you can see from the diagram that we have synchronous, meaning that live, right, with all participants on at the same time. And then also we have asynchronous, pre-recorded, enabling one to many and many to one video can be shared and can be used by anyone, right? So meaning to say that anyone or everyone can use everything that we have stored in the computers. So that's why cloud computing actually play a major role to provide the storage as a PaaS, platform as a service, and also infrastructure as a service, and the software as a service, SaaS. So cloud computing for this environment actually is very important. Okay, the next one, we're talking about smart devices. For the smart devices, I give you the example of how do we make use MOOC, for example, from the CMOOC to the XMOOC, meaning that from the collaborative of MOOC goes to the individual of MOOC, right? So we can make use MOOC individually, we can use MOOC collaboratively, meaning that these are the kind of technologies we can make use MOOC. I hope that you understand what do we mean by MOOC. MOOC basically is massive online course, right? So this is how do we can share among us to collaborate, to to work together, to not just to collaborate, to work together, but we can help each other how to make sure that everyone knows about everyone, right? Something about something. Okay, right. The last one, we're talking about smart education, academic administrators. This is something related to the smart campus, right? So once we talk about smart campus, so we are in the education system of the future. We must have a good ecosystem. We must have smart ecosystem or good ecosystem to support us in terms of features and also the reason to adopt smart technologies. So we can see from there, how do we make use of the technology for the purpose of connectivity? We can have Wi-Fi for the purpose of interactive projector. We can have touch board. We can have mobile devices. We can have sensor. We can have customized tablet. We can have CCTV. And of course, the most important thing also, we can have panel board, meaning that everything through the board, and the board can be used as touch screen, as might be later on, it's not just touch, might be by looking. That is another kind of interaction that we can make use for the purpose of smart computing or smart campus later on. Okay, That's all for the way forward for the future education. Before we go at the end, let me discuss the issues and challenges. So in order to make sure that those come reality, those can come reality or the dream come true, let me try to understand some of the issues. So most of the issues that I want to share to you today actually is about six. Number one, the teachers or the lecturers competency should be developed, in terms of development competency of the teachers. And also we need as a teachers and also as a community of practice, we must understand the tool of education with regard to the Web 2.0 and 3.0. We have to maximizing to use it, right? That is the second issue. The third issue is basically regarding on digitalization and integration of vertical and horizontal value chain, meaning that we have to make sure that everyone are being connected, right? Once we have been connected, we can promote about three C's, right? The first of C basically is communication. The second C in terms of collaboration. And of course, the last one is very important thing is coordination or control. So once we have been connected, digitalized, vertically, horizontally, to create for value change, so we can monitor each other. We can enhance the value of networking. We can enhance the value of, if we are in education system, of course, we can increase the quality and productivity. That is the third issue. The fourth issue is in terms of innovative in digitalization of business models, right? So it doesn't matter what kind of business that we have. For example, in the primary school, in secondary school, and higher education school, in higher education, we have the digitalization model. So starting from the administrators, from the lecturers, from the students, we work together how to innovate the process to ensure that we can deliver on time, right? We can ensure that we can, can promote in terms of inclusive digitalization for the purpose of community and practice. No one left behind. So everyone can get in terms of benefit for the teaching and learning. That is number 4. Number 5, digitalization of the product and services. Also very important. This is to make sure that we can offer in terms of working collaboratively and intelligently. This is by using the IR 5.0. You can see that how we can make use artificial intelligence, right? AI, and also we can create IS, intelligent system, right? And also we can have sort of not just IS, we can have information security. We can create security, more secure. And the last one, of course, based on data analytics. Since we are in the era of big data, so we can have data analytics as a core capability in digital era and together with the IoT and big data. So these are the challenges that we can have. So lastly, as a conclusion, so I want to make a conclusion in terms of two things. Number one, in terms of technological innovation as a part of education of the future. So we can see that it is a continuous process of innovation within an internal or external venture built out to create the value of innovation. That's number one. Number two, start with the ideas process and end up with the commercialization of viable product or services in response to the proven market needs. And the last one, in terms of technological innovation, it can be guide for the venture of management to decide what technology direction to take based on the portfolio management and education monitoring, especially in the education system environment. And lastly, for education and industry sectors, must continuously enhance effort to accommodate the requirement of upcoming Web 3.0 as well as RR 5.0. It is responsible to deliver every knowledge and skill along with the chain of positive attitude towards or to have a better quality of life. With that, thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm back to the MC. Nadia?
Thank you, okay. Thank you, Yang Berbahagia, Professor Dr. Rusli, for a very enlightening speech. Indeed, we cannot deny the importance of innovation in improving the future teaching and learning environment, not only for instructors, but also learners and also the academic administrators. Prof, I think we can entertain a few questions from the audience. We have a few here. Let me just help you to read the first question. The first question is coming from Dr. Muhammad Khaize bin Omar from the Faculty of Educational Studies, UPM. Thank you, Prof, for a very interesting presentation. He also mentioned dengan beralihnya kepada IR 5.0, landscape pendidikan akan turut berubah. Jadi pada pandangan Prof, bagaimanakah penerapan nilai-nilai boleh berlaku dalam sistem pendidikan tinggi? So that's the question from Dr. Muhammad Khaize. Maybe we can address this first question.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. Actually, for the purpose of how to ensure that the process of education can be, in terms of value. So I think the most important things, besides we try to highlight the latest technologies, we also need to also add some values like ethics, right? So we have to ensure that the ethic environment actually should take place as well, because we have to highlight in terms of do and don'ts. Yeah. So because one way I try to highlight sort of IR 4.0 in terms of sharing something, but not all can be shared, right? So we have to respect others. So that's why the ethic is very important. That is number one. Number two, for the, you can see from the innovation, we are creating something. So we have to respect the creator in terms of IPR, for example, right? For example, once we talk about IPR, intellectual property rights. So we have to consider this to make use that if we want to make use, please something like cite or please respect those who are try to, to give something for the benefit of us. I think that's, I hope that I answered the question.
Thank you, Prof. The second question is coming from Dr. Muhammad Nur Hisham bin Muhammad Nazir from Faculty of Science. Salam, Prof. Well said in your presentation with regards to all these smart technologies. However, in reality, in terms of the infrastructure, saya lihat masih belum bersedia. Isu internet dan wifi masih menjadi masalah dan ini sangatlah menjadi satu isu yang asas lah pada hemat saya dan menjadi cabaran paling utama dalam menjayakan usaha smart and virtual classroom ini. Jadi soalannya, kalau bagi pihak Prof, boleh cadangkan apa cadangan pihak Prof kepada UPM agar infrastruktur paling utama ini dapat ditambah baik dengan segera, memandangkan kita pun telah hampir 2 tahun mengajar dari rumah kan, Prof?
Okay, terima kasih. Very challenging question actually. Okay, my suggestion actually, of course, our management at UPM aware about this. So actually, we are in the process of upgrading our infrastructure, right? The important things in the, as I mentioned to you, for example, in cloud computing, we have software as a service, infrastructure as a service, and platform as a service. So if we have software as a service are very good, but without infrastructure is not so good, so they will not be complemented. So that's why in this case, if you want to make sure that UPM can go ahead, so infrastructure must be first class. So that's why I'm sure that our management aware about this. We are going or we are moving towards that, upgrading our infrastructure. As that's why in this case also we can see, if we're talking about working at home, for example, working at anywhere, at any place, and so on. So infrastructure is very important because infrastructure is considered as our highway, right? Sometimes our highway is good, but in terms of maintainability, it might be it's not so good, right? So that's all I can say that. So meaning to say that if we want to achieve in terms of the good one, in terms of smart technology, for example, we are also must have smart infrastructure, right? So smart infrastructure is considered as a platform to make sure that all the technologies or the application that can be done smoothly and efficiently. Thank you.
you, Prof. I think we can entertain maybe the last question. It's from Dr. Muhammad Hafizal bin Ismail. Salam Prof. Dengan kerancakan teknologi dalam PDP dan lambakan maklumat dalam internet, sejauh manakah peranan pengajar boleh terus kekal relevan dalam pengalaman pembelajaran pelajar? So that's a question from Dr. Muhammad Hafizal.
Okay, to answer this question, I think we are very fortunate to have PDP art right now, right? So we previously we have PDPD, we have DP, yeah, but now we have PDP art. So something that we are never aware about how to make use the technology. So that's why in this case, to me, technology is very important because sometimes technology also can help us. Something like pandemic that we have, we have no choice sometimes. Yeah. So that's why in this case, since we have the good infrastructure, good platform, and good of everything in terms of lecturers' competency and also the good of in terms of ecosystem, I'm sure that we can deliver a good service to our client, especially for the student. That's all I can say. Meaning to say that we can create the value of the future of education for the purpose of community of practice. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Yes, from all the comments and also insights from Prof, I think it will be wonderful if we can integrate all these technologies in our future education system. But at the same time, it's also very important to prepare our educators and also administrators for this so that all parties can benefit from these innovations. So again, on behalf of the organizer, I would like to thank our keynote speaker, Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Rusli Abdullah, and all the audience for participating in today's session. Thank you, Prof.
Sama-sama. Terima kasih, Kate. Terima kasih, Nadia. See you again.
Terima kasih.
Thank you very much.
Before we end our session, kindly be reminded that the closing ceremony of PicTL 2021 will be held soon via this FB and YouTube Live. So stay tuned. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. distinguished guests, fellow juries, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Welcome to the International Putra Integrative Carnival in Teaching and Learning, PicTL Prize Giving Ceremony and the closing of Bulan Pendidik UPM for the year 2021, organized by the Center for Academic Development, CADe, Universiti Putra, Malaysia. As we are still recovering from the pandemic, all activities are held online in line with the new norms. Bulan Pendidik UPM program is celebrated for a month starting October 1st every year. Throughout the month of October, a variety of exciting scholarly activities such as forums, best practice sharing sessions, webinars, workshops, and keynote speeches, with the highlight being the International Putra Integrative Carnival in Teaching and Learning or PicTL 2021. Very soon, we will all know the winners for Pertandingan Amalan Terbaik Inovasi Pengajaran dan Pembelajaran UPM, Putra Integrative Awards, and International Putra Integrative Poster Competition. For blessing, let us begin the ceremony with the recitation of Al-Fatihah. Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony continues with the closing speech of Bulan Pendidik UPM and Putra Integrative Carnival in Teaching and Learning PicTL 2021 by Yang Berbahagia Professor Technologies Dr. Muhammad Iqbal Saripan, Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic and International Universiti Putra Malaysia. With all due respect, please welcome.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning everybody. Thank you very much MC. Yang berusaha Associate Professor Dr. Wan Mazuki Wan Jaafar, Director, Center for Academic Development, CADe, as the organizer of the Bulan Pendidik and PicTL 2021 program. University top management members, Datuk-Datuk, Datin-Datin, Professor, Doktor, tuan-tuan, perempuan sekalian. Alhamdulillah, with the permission of Allah SWT, Bulan Pendidik and International Putra Integrative Carnival in Teaching and Learning PicTL 2021 is now drawing to a close. Many thanks to the committee members for organizing this event and ensuring that it proceeded smoothly. I believe this success is the result of the efforts, commitment and cooperation of various parties who are willing to provide continuous support to the activities organized by the Center of Academic Development, CADe, UPM. With great respect, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the line of honorary speakers and panel of presenters who have shared their valuable knowledge, expertise and experience in various activities such as forums, best practice sharing sessions, webinars, workshops and keynote speeches. In addition, I would like to also say thank you to the program moderators, members of the PicTL 2021 committee and jury panel of the poster competition, Integrative Putra Award and TNL Innovation Best Practice Competition. Ladies and gentlemen, this year, PicTL 2021 recorded a total of 268 entries. It is always refreshing to see new ideas, concepts and practices in teaching and learning being shared and discussed throughout the program. Therefore, on behalf of the organizers, I would like to also congratulate all PicTL contestants for their contributions in this year's event. My fellow colleagues and friends, the long-awaited moment has finally arrived where winners of the competitions will be announced. To the winners, my heartfelt congratulations to all of you. To the rest of the participants, let us acknowledge all our contributions in ensuring educational excellence in teaching and learning for the benefits of our nation. On behalf of the organizer, I would also like to apologize for any inconvenience that you might experience during this event. Again, my appreciation to all of you for your invaluable contributions in making this event a great success. With that note, I now close the Bulan Pendidik and International Putra Integrative Carnival in Teaching and Learning PicTL 2021 with a quote by Aristotle. We are what we repeated do, excellence. Therefore, it is not an act, but a habit. With that, thank you very much. Wabillahi taufiq hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Thank you Yang Berbahagia, Profesor Teknologi Dr. Muhammad Iqbal Saripan, Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic and International UPM for your speech. Ladies and gentlemen, now comes the long-awaited moment, which is the announcement of the winners of all the competitions during the International Putra Innovative Carnival in Teaching and Learning PicTL 2021, which will be known through video screenings. We begin with Pertandingan Amalan Terbaik Inovasi Pengajaran dan Pembelajaran UPM, or Teaching and Learning Innovation Best Practice Competition, which was held on 18 October 2021. Of the 12 contestants, the first, second, and third place winners are hereby announced. Congratulations to the faculties that won this year's competition. Next, we have Putra Innovative Awards. These awards are given to individual or group of academics who showcase innovations and creativity, particularly in cybergogy and pedagogy. The winners of Putra Innovative Awards 2021 are as follows. Congrats again to all the winners. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the organizer, I would like to thank and congratulate all 260 participants in this year's Putra Innovative Competition. We will now announce the recipients of gold, silver, and bronze medals. Please note that the recipients of each medal are not ranked, so in no particular order. Once again, congratulations to all the winners as well as to all participants who have participated in PicTL 2021. Losing and winning are customary in any competition, but then our motivation to continuously innovate in our teaching and learning should live on, as highlighted by the program team of Innovation for Future Education. For your information, certificates of participation will be emailed to you soon. For UPM participants, trophies and medals can be claimed at CADe starting from next week. Medals for the participants outside UPM will be posted to the respective addresses. All participants will be able to find the list of winners by visiting the CADe's official PicTL 2021 website. We hope to see you again in PicTL 2022. Thank you.